There's a moon orbiting Jupiter that looks like a giant eyeball staring back at us. Pristine, frozen, perfect. But scientists just confirmed what we've suspected for decades. Beneath that ice shell lies an ocean. And it's not empty. Something down there is moving. Europa doesn't look dangerous from space. It looks like an ornament, a cosmic Christmas bauble hung in the void, reflecting sunlight with such intensity it glows like a beacon, the smoothest surface in our entire solar system. It's beautiful, deceptively so. Because if you could teleport to Europa's surface right now, your final thoughts wouldn't be about beauty, they'd be about survival, and you'd have seconds to think them. That smooth ice you see from orbit, up close, it's a landscape of nightmares. Jagged pressure ridges towering hundreds of feet high, ice blades sharp enough to slice through Kevlar, all of it frozen to minus 260 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to make your spacesuit brittle as dried leaves. Your suit would crack, your blood would freeze before it could spill. You'd be a statue in seconds. But here's what should really terrify you. The cold isn't the threat, the ice isn't the danger. It's what's underneath. 15 miles of ice separating you from an alien ocean. And recently, we detected something in that ocean that changed everything. Before we dive into that water, we need to talk about why no human has ever set foot on Europa, why no probe has ever landed there, why it remains untouched despite being one of the most important targets in the solar system. The answer orbits 400,000 miles away, Jupiter. Jupiter isn't just a planet. It's a cosmic killing machine wrapped in pretty stripes. It spins so violently fast that it generates a magnetic field 20,000 times stronger than Earth's. That field doesn't protect like ours does, it destroys. Jupiter's magnetosphere acts like a particle accelerator the size of a small star. It traps electrons, protons, and heavier ions, then whips them to near light speed and flings them outward in an invisible hurricane of radiation. And Europa orbits directly through the worst of it. The radiation belt Europa swims through would deliver a lethal dose to a human in less than a day. Your electronics would die in hours. Camera sensors would snow with static. Circuit boards would fry. Your DNA would start unraveling strand by strand while you were still conscious enough to know it was happening. Europa is bathed in more radiation than a nuclear reactor core. But here's a twisted irony that keeps scientists awake at night. This deadly radiation might be exactly what makes Europa habitable. It might be feeding life right now. For years, we stared at Europa and wondered if it was solid ice all the way through or something else lurked below. We couldn't drill, we couldn't see inside. We needed evidence. Then, in the 1990s, the Galileo spacecraft made a pass so close to Europa that it could measure something subtle: magnetic fields. As Galileo flew by, its instruments detected something impossible. Europa was generating its own magnetic field, one that pushed back against Jupiter's like two magnets repelling each other. Solid ice can't do that, rock can't do that, but one substance can: salt water. The measurements were unambiguous. The only explanation that fits the data is a global subsurface ocean of liquid salt water completely encircling the moon. And it's not a lake, it's not a sea, it's an ocean over 60 miles deep in places, more than 10 times deeper than Earth's Mariana Trench. Europa contains twice as much liquid water as all of Earth's oceans combined. But Europa's 500 million miles from the sun. It should be frozen solid as granite. So how is there liquid water? The answer is violence on a planetary scale. Europa is locked in an orbital relationship with Jupiter and its sister moons Io and Ganymede. They pull on Europa constantly from different directions, like three giants playing tug-of-war with the moon as the rope. Every orbit, Europa gets squeezed and stretched, its shape deforms, the ice flexes, and deep inside, the rocky core grinds against each other, generating friction heat. Enough heat to keep an ocean liquid for billions of years. But it gets better, or worse, depending on your perspective. Scientists now believe the ocean floor is geologically active, dotted with hydrothermal vents, cracks in the rocky seabed that spew superheated, mineral-rich water into the darkness. On Earth, we find these around volcanic ridges. We call them black smokers. And on Earth, Everywhere we find hydrothermal vents, we find life. Ecosystems thriving in absolute darkness, feeding not on sunlight but on chemical energy from the planet itself. Meanwhile, Jupiter's radiation is splitting water molecules on Europa's surface, creating oxygen. That oxygen gets incorporated into the ice. Over millions of years, the ice crust breaks apart, churns and sinks, delivering oxygen into the ocean below like an atmospheric conveyor belt running in reverse. The ocean isn't just warm and salty, it's chemically rich. It has energy, it has the building blocks, it has everything life needs. So what could be down there? In perpetual darkness, eyes would be useless. Evolution would favor other senses. Creatures might detect vibrations through the water, feeling movement from miles away. They might use bioluminescence to communicate, creating fields of living light in the black depths. Or echolocation, painting pictures of their world with sound. And size? Europa's gravity is only 13% of Earth's. Without that crushing pressure limiting growth, organisms could theoretically grow enormous. Imagine something the size of a blue whale gliding through those alien currents, never having seen light, never needing to. We have no idea what's possible in an ocean that's been isolated for 4 billion years. In 2013, the Hubble Space Telescope detected something that made the discovery even more urgent. Water plumes erupting from Europa's surface, shooting 100 miles into space before raining back down. The ocean isn't just down there. It's spitting itself into space through cracks in the ice. We could sample Europa's ocean without ever landing, without drilling. We just need to fly through one of those geysers and collect what's inside. NASA's Europa Clipper launched in October 2024. It's heading there right now. A spacecraft the size of a basketball court, carrying the most sophisticated instruments we've ever built for an ocean world. It won't orbit Europa, the radiation would kill it. Instead, it'll dive past repeatedly, 50 flybys over 4 years, each time dipping through those water plumes with its sensors wide open. It will taste Europa's ocean, and we'll analyze what it finds. If there's organic chemistry in that water, we'll know. If there are biomarkers, chemical signatures of metabolism, we'll detect them. And if there's something more, something moving, something alive, the data will scream it. Arthur C. Clarke wrote a warning in his novel 2010. All these worlds are yours, except Europa. Attempt no landing there. In the story, it was because something vast and intelligent lived beneath that ice, and humanity wasn't ready to meet it. Maybe he was telling us something. Maybe some mysteries should stay buried. But we're going anyway, because we're human, because we've never seen a door we didn't want to open, a question we didn't want to answer, a darkness we didn't want to shine a light into. If we find even a single cell in that ocean, just one microbe clinging to a thermal vent, it would prove life isn't rare. It would mean the universe is teeming with biology, that everywhere there's liquid water and chemical energy, life finds a way. It would mean we're not alone. We never were. But there's another possibility, one nobody talks about publicly, but everyone thinks about privately. What if we find something that shouldn't exist? Something complex, something that's been evolving in isolation for billions of years while we were still single cells. What if Europa isn't just habitable? What if it's inhabited? Right now, at this moment, Europa is spinning silently through the radiation storms, its ice shell groaning and cracking, its hidden ocean churning in the dark. Whatever is down there doesn't know we're coming. It doesn't know we exist. But soon, very soon, we're going to knock, and something might answer.